Singers every room you're prepared for the horror that awaits you with prepare.
To delete this piece of shit.
Jayson's Judgements, I'm gonna judge a game.
I wanted to love this game. I really did. I was looking forward to its release since it was announced, really. Until Dawn is supposed to be an homage to the classic horror films of the 80s and 90s. A story-based, choose-your-own-adventure style game is what we were promised. And what did we get? I'm not even sure. Alright. Let's go through this point by point, spoiler-free of course, and see where the strengths and the flaws lie. Seeing as this is a story-based game, we'll start with the story. We start with a group of teens in a lone cabin on a mountain. A prank ensues that causes one teen to go running into the night, her twin sister chasing after her. The both of them fall off of a cliff, and we cut to 1 year later. The brother of these twin sisters invites everybody over to the same cabin on the same mountain as a way to get over the tragedy of what had happened the year previous. Okay, I'm not going to fault it for such a cliche premise, because, it's supposed to be an homage to these cliches. We're supposed to pay respect to those classic films of the 80s and 90s. It's supposed to celebrate those cliches. How do you fuck up a good satirical take on a cliche? You pile them on. Stereotypical insecure sex bomb character? Hello. The naked bathing chick? Yep. The bitch? Oh yeah. The shy cutesy girl? Ding ding. The class clown? Present. The leather jacket wearing jock? Oh, here he is. The grieving character trying to get over a loss? Bingo! The cool dude bro? Oh hi, didn't see you there. The crazy psychiatrist who doesn't help at all? Hello! That's the characters. One note is all hell. What about non-character related cliches? The black guy dies first? Oh, that's possible. There's power issues? Of course. Super cold outside? How could it not be? Ongoing storm? You betcha. Cheap and stupid jump scares? All over the damn place. I could go on, but I've overused this question and answer format enough as it is. Just like this game overuses cliches. Sorry, I had to say it. Back to those stupid jump scares. Not a single one was even remotely fucking scary. Not a single one was actually surprising, so I don't know if I can call them jump scares. Seriously. Nothing about this game is actually fucking scary. No, wait. This is scary. Ugh, God, I'm sorry, I'll get rid of that. Now the game tries to throw you for a loop, introducing far too many suspects, and certain plot twists that basically make the two main stories weaker for it. Rather than focus on one strong line of storytelling, it just ruins the mood, especially when this biggest plot twist is revealed. And it completely destroys any strength the story already had. That, and this game uses a lot of this Native American influence and vibe for some reason. Like these different totems that you can find scattered everywhere. And they're separated into a few different categories. The categories are death, danger, loss, guidance, and fortune. And really the only thing it seems to do is impair your judgment. Nothing is really helpful. And honestly, it's just another way of the game showing you, oh, you don't actually have a choice. There are other things, like hurting an animal brings you misfortune, and they barely mention for a second that the land is cursed by some Native American curse, and never touch on it again. I'll talk about that a bit here in a few minutes. Let's move from the weakest point of this game to the two strongest points. The audio and the graphics. I will give credit where credit is due. The sound design is spectacular. Everything from the voice acting, more on that later, to the environment to the music was spot on. Well, aside from those shitty jump scares. Seriously, those did nothing but take me out of that world and piss me off. The voice acting was expertly done from every single actor and actress. You can easily tell how much effort was put into every single person's lines, whether the lines were good or not. And there was a lot of bad ones. Each character not only sounded different, but felt different. They all had their own mannerisms, and the way they acted, and voice inflections. These characters were written terribly, but acted incredibly. As terrible as the characters were, these actors and actresses were actually able to breathe some life into them. Like for the characters, the sound design breathed a lot of life into the environment. Foreboding music adds tension when nothing else does. Footsteps echo throughout hallways and caverns differently. Aside from looking different, each location feels different because each different space has a different kind of ambient sound. Hell, not just every place, every unique room has its own sound and feel. I mean, down to the very details of every character's footsteps sounded differently from one another's, and from there they sound different from caverns to stone to wood to snow. The sound was amazing. Now, the way the jump scares happen is given away by the audio. They let you know what's going to happen. Quickly, all the sound fades away, and it all comes back in 1 second. Jump scare! That's not how you do jump scares. You build the tension, but we're staying positive. The incredible attention to detail, as far as the sound design and graphics goes, I'm astounded by. Moving on to the single strongest point of this game, the graphics. This game is fucking gorgeous. It follows the Beyond Two Souls and many other games route, really, where they cast actual actors and actresses to play the parts of these characters. And I'm probably gonna fuck some of these names up, but whatever. You have Hayden Panettiere from Heroes in Nashville playing Sam, who's the bathing girl. Rami Malek from Need for Speed and the Night at the Museum movies, who's playing Joshua, the one getting over loss. You have Brett Dalton from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Killing Lincoln, and he plays Michael, the cool dude bro. Megan Martin from Camp Rock and Mean Girls 2, who plays Jessica, the insecure sex bomb. Galadriel Steinman from The Middle and Ben 10 Alien Swarm, playing Ashley, the shy cutesy one. Nicole Bloom from Project X and the US version of Shameless, playing Emily, the bitch. Jordan Fisher from Secret Life of the American Teenager, playing Matthew, the leather jacket wearing jock. Noah Fleiss, who is a relative unknown, playing Chris, the class clown, the jokester. And last but not least, Peter Stormare from fucking everything, playing Dr. Hill, the psychiatrist who actually doesn't fucking help at all. Only one of these characters is truly likable, and the rest are just meh. Except the bitch, Emily. I tried for half the fucking game to kill this bitch, and she just would not die. Like, I went out of my way to try to make sure she did, and she didn't, and it pissed me off. Like, I was starting to grow delirious with desperation. Listen.
God fucking damn, this dude's gonna fucking save her. No. I've worked so hard to kill this bitch.
Yeah. Sam, this girl, is the first character I actually liked and started to show some depth. And by that I mean she's the only character not defined by a relationship status. Michael, this guy up here, really did grow on me. I liked him by the end, and he was actually somewhat sensible most of the time. Joshua, this guy, was just fucking annoying. Same for Jessica, this chick. Honestly, I didn't even really give a fuck about Matthew either. That's this guy. And Ashley, this girl, was just there, no negatives or positives. Chris, this guy, was a better character towards the end, but he was really one note pretty much the whole way. And Dr. Hill was Peter Stormare. I don't even think he was acting. He was Peter. While all these characters represented the standard tropes from horror movies and things of the like, the actors themselves did a splendid job with what they were handed. Even though what they were handed was absolute garbage. Seriously, these characters were shit. Although, every time I started to actually, get a little bit immersed, instantly broken. Now, without giving away any spoilers, I'll give you an example. 2 characters just went through a terrible experience. The 2 are broken up and traumatized by the event, gasping and wheezing and crying. They find 2 other characters, and the first 2 are barely able to speak. Obviously from the aforementioned wheezing, crying, yada yada yada. After finally getting the message across about what they experienced, the other 2 mention another character who's missing. The 2 traumatized characters just stand up, act like nothing had just fucking happened, and agree to go look for this character. Like no cut and scene, or voice, or anything. They just, 1 second they're doubled over, barely unable to speak or move, probably on the verge of throwing up, to, oh yeah, let's go look for that person. Like nothing just fucking happened. Now, this next bit goes along the graphics side of things as it's a visual cue. The characters, depending on the choices you've made and what you've gone through, will have different statuses, I guess you could call it. Have different articles of clothing, more or less, bumps, bruises, scrapes. From every playthrough, it will be different. For example, I had my playthrough, Markiplier's, and one on IGN. Same scene, same exact thing was happening. One character had a shirt on, one character was still fully, bundled up, and one character was down to their skivvies. Same exact situation, we had made different choices before though, and everything that happened afterwards was the same. The visual cues like this are a great way that the immersion was kept. You don't have a character who, stripped down and suddenly shows up fully bundled up again. It's a great way to keep that immersion that this game itself tries to constantly fucking break. As this is a good midpoint between the topic now, graphics, and the next topic, atmosphere, let's talk about the setting. One thing I do really like a shitload is the setting. As cliche as it may be, this mountain, accompanied by its very own mining network, a sanatorium, a radio tower, a large cabin, a small cabin, several trails, cliffs of course, all this what have you, is a great setting for a game like this. Again, I have to give credit where credit is due. The level design is spectacular. Spec-fucking-tacular. Every piece seems to flow together like an architectural plan that would actually exist, like in real life. If there was a radio tower and a sanitarium and a mining network, and a large and a small cabin all in the same area. But that aside, each of these locations is memorable in its own right, and I'd love to, free from this game, explore this whole area. This mountain is absolutely fucking fascinating. Because of the previously mentioned graphics and audio, every location is unique from one to the next. And they all have their own distinct feels, vibes, atmospheres, and everything else. I love these areas, and it's a perfect setting for a horror game like this. Or a good horror game. Let's talk about atmosphere. This game had no clue what the fuck it wanted to emulate. So why not everything? This damn game jumps from emulating Cabin in the Woods to Friday the 13th to Poltergeist to Saw back to Poltergeist to Nightmare on Elm Street to, I'm sure there's more that I'm skipping over, The Descent. All over the place. It doesn't know what the fuck it wants to be. Being inspired by all of these franchises is not a bad thing. However, there is no overarching tone or its own identity even. And that is a bad thing. Not only was it impossible to nail down a single tone, but it was almost impossible to be surprised. The plot twists that I mentioned earlier completely destroy any tone that the game has established and tries to set a new one every single time. Not only that, but the game spoils itself on several fucking occasions. And not just that fucking totem stuff. Those are spoilers in and of themselves. I'm talking just the game itself spoils itself. It's really easy to pick up on these visual cues that they put there thinking, oh, we're clever, we put hints. Although these hints are more like a giant fucking neon sign that says, hey, look at how fucking clever we are. Even though the game spoils itself, I won't do the same. Apparently I, somebody who hates this fucking game, has more respect for the people that still want to play it than the actual fucking creators. That's kind of sad. On top of everything else, anything that wasn't spoiled was just plain predictable. Not once did this game surprise me. And I wanted it to. I really did. I wanted to be thrown for a loop. I wanted the shit to get scared out of me. I can't even talk properly with how enraged I am that this game was just, it was just there. It wasn't scary or creepy or anything like that. I keep saying it, but I wanted it to be good so badly. Remember how I mentioned that this game wants to break your immersion at every single fucking turn? This fucking screen popped up 9 damn times. Fuck! Oh, and you can't skip it either. And for some reason, the graphics look shitter in these little episode recaps or whatever than they are in the actual game, which makes no sense to me, but whatever. I don't understand that. Fuck you, Supermassive Games, for making me sit through this shit. For some reason, I think they thought this was a clever way to make it feel episodic. With chapters. No, fuck you. You made the game even worse by doing this shit. Every single time I saw that stupid fucking screen, I got angrier and happier. Angrier because I saw that stupid fucking screen again, and happier because I knew I was getting closer and closer to being done with this piece of shit. Like I've said many times already, this game loves to break your immersion. The times when it doesn't and actually keeps you in, it's fantastic. Through certain hallways and caverns, the camera will follow you as though, it's like an actual horror movie. The movements are extremely fluid, and it feels very, and I hate this word, cinematic. Not the, movies have black bars, we put black bars in our game, it's cinematic. Or in the, well, most movies are in 24 frames per second, so that's what our game is. It's cinematic. No, fuck you if you think that. It genuinely feels like a great set piece traversed by a smooth moving camera. Well, the other 75% of the time is spent with fixed cameras that make no fucking sense. You spend most of your time trying to go through walls that you think might be doors or hallways, because you can't fucking see them. Is this the door? Is this the hallway? Is it a window? I can't tell because the camera doesn't show it! Okay, that's the game's camera, but how does the game itself control? Like a fucking refrigerator. Not even one on wheels, just a fucking refrigerator you're trying to roll down a hill or some shit. I mean, you're slow as hell unless you're in a QTE section, and there's supposedly a button to hold down, L1, that makes you move faster, but all it does is take you from a 30-minute mile to a 29-minute mile. Makes a big fucking difference, y'all. Half the time you don't know which direction you want to try to fucking push your thumbstick, and the other time you're trying to figure out how to flip over a fucking totem or paper or some other shit. Okay. Got this. There's this picture right in front of me. Gotta pick it up. R2. No. Huh. Hold it down? Oh, maybe you should have told me that. But nothing's progging. How about try to flip it over? Nope. Not that way. Nope, not moving that way. Nope, not much. Why did you put it down? Pick it back up. Thank you. Oh, look! A clue that's completely useless and makes no effect on the game. How could I have ever lived without that? Or trying to control your flashlight. Alright. Pretty sure I heard something on my right over there. Gonna shine a line at it and check it out. No. Damn it. No. Maybe if I turn over there. How the fuck? Nope. God fucking. Just shine it. Shine it right in front of you. God. I almost had it shine over there. I almost had it. Now, I'm about to say something that is considered heresy in the gaming world. I don't know why, but don't freak out. I mean it when I say it. The strong point of this game, control-wise, is the QTEs. Now, they do have major issues, like the fact that the only buttons they're used are square, triangle, circle, not moving the controller, or choosing left or right with the thumbstick. I do really like this don't move mechanic, and it was good to, have to hold your controller in place while you're hiding behind a wall or some kind of shit like that. And I adore how quickly these QTEs go by. You have to act quick. However, only 3 buttons, a thumbstick, and not moving the controller. That's all the control you get for those. I mean, that's it? Come on! While the QTEs are the strongest point of the control, they're still severely lacking and disappointing. Very fine-tuned, but sparse. Also, there are certain events that require you to aim, like if you're shooting or hitting or throwing, that kind of stuff. You have to aim and then press the right trigger. While I like the mechanic, and it's pretty cool, it's also extremely fucking awkward. That and there's no fucking sensitivity options, no inversion. Literally the only 2 choices you have are brightness and do I want control or motion control. Or in other words, if you don't want to play it our way, go fuck yourself. Now, onto the content. What makes this game a game? It's a story... Excuse me. Sorry, it's just so funny that anyone can consider this a story. Is that what a story pass is for these days? Are we that desperate for new games on this current generation? I'm sorry. I really am. Anyways, this is a story-based choose-your-own-adventure style game with walking and discovery segments where you find items and clues that don't make a fucking difference, and QTE sections. For some reason, we have these weird little fucking screens that you can see how each character has a relationship and where it goes over time and things like that. But honestly, it's pointless. It's useless. There's no fucking reason for it. It doesn't make a goddamn difference. After I started the game, I completely forgot it was there because I had no reason to check this shit. I forgot about it until I started writing this script. And if, for some ungodly reason, you actually enjoyed this game, sure, it's kind of got replayability. I mean, the ending's going to be the same except for you have different characters alive and they say different things, but from point A to point B, it's the same. Maybe it's gotten a little wobbly in this section, a little bit more straight right here, and took a left turn over here. I don't know. But point A and point B are the exact fucking same. And like I said, every playthrough will at least have cosmetic differences. Different clothing, some different dialogue, things like that. I mean, that's something, right? As this falls under content, let's talk about length and what makes it the length it is. You walk slow as fuck, you have 9 of these stupid ass fucking recap things, you have 9 useless scenes with Dr. Hill. As amazing as Peter Stormare is, these were fucking irrelevant, useless, and honestly annoying. This is a 3, maybe 4 hour game that's been stretched out to 6.5, 7, 8 hours depending on how long it takes you. This game milks every fucking second and throws it in your face. As I said in the beginning, I was looking forward to this game. It was an amazing concept. This was the perfect opportunity to show those corporate fucks who think that gamers don't want survival horror games anymore and that kind of thing, that they were fucking wrong. And I still want survival horror games. Wait, I want good survival horror games. You had a shot to change the game, Supermassive. No pun intended. But, to quote Angry Joe,
you done fucked it up!
You done fucked it up. Alright, we're here at the end of the review. Before I give you my final score, I'm going to do what I call the Junior Judgements, judging each different section on its own. Story. Cliché orgy. All the tropes. No direction. No tone. 2. Audio. Excellently crafted, aside from spoiling potential jump scares. 8. Graphics. Almost mind-blowing. Almost. 9. Atmosphere. Incredible setting, but constantly breaks its own immersion. 6. Gameplay. No. 3. Replayability and content. Well, if this game was actually any good, it'd have replay value. 3. Jayson's judgment is 3 out of 10. Go back to making PlayStation Move games, Supermassive. Leave the survival horror to people who actually know what the fuck they're doing. And for any of you considering Until Dawn, just don't. Go play Heavy Rain. It gets scarier, it's better, handles better, better story. In fact, there's not a single aspect, except for graphics, that Heavy Rain is not better than this 20-fold. Don't you fucking dare, you had your chance. You gonna celebrate with me? First let's close it. And then, this is a beautiful moment.